Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be talking about how to properly clean a vinyl seat. This seat comes off directly off a Ford F-150. It's a truck that we're working at the inside at the shop. It is a pretty dirty truck, pretty dirty seat. This, like I said, this is a work truck. They use it for delivering parts, auto parts, semi-truck parts. So the first step that I'm doing is I'm spraying it down with it's Nano Skin, multi-purpose from Nano Skin. I really love this product because it helps out lose all the dirt, debris, any oils, stuff like that it could have from sitting over time. It really gives it makes the job a lot easier compared to other chemicals that I have used personally. Then afterwards I hit it with the drill brush. I mean, obviously you could go to Home Depot and buy yourself a drill, and the drill brushes you could get them off Home Depot as well. They run for like about $10-15. The brush that I believe nowadays. The drills, I mean, I use a Ryobi. It's been going strong on me. Had it for years. Haven't had no issues with it. Actually, it's lasted me a lot longer than the DeWalt. DeWalt lasted me like about a year. That was it. It gave out on me after that. This Ryobi's been going strong on me for like 2-3 years already. But yeah, anyway, so just choice of purpose. This is what I choose. This is what I work with. They're inexpensive and they're great products to be using. You know. So you just go over the whole seat completely with it. Put down the speed on it. You just gotta be careful with it because if you're not used to it, it could, come back and do some damage on your hand. Sometimes even come off flying off in your hand, or even hit you on the face, twist a wrist or something. And then afterwards I respray it again. Then I use this sponge. I get them off from they're called Ninjas. You could buy them off Amazon. A lot of auto detailing supplies carrying them nowadays. So I just go over it again, just to make sure that whatever I could have missed with the drill brush, I get it off with by hand. But this time with the drill brush, is that the drill brush already mostly loosen up all the dirt, so it just makes it a lot easier. So on these type of sponges, it has two different type of texture. In the front, it usually has like a more like a sponge type of thing, and the other side is more like a microfiber. I've seen a lot of people use them, for both. Usually, if I'm using it for cleaning, I only use it for cleaning, and that's it. Excuse my worker's hand. I did not know he had put his hand in there. He's over here asking me questions because he's still learning as he's going as well. But yeah, like I said, so some people like to use that. I personally don't. I just like to use a whole different sponge for everything. If I'm using one for conditioning, I like to use a brand new freshly for that. If I'm using one for cleaning, I just like to stick with cleaning for it. There's no need to be mixing that. It's not hard to just get an extra sponge. Then afterwards, I try to take off that white mark off there. I'm assuming that was paint on there. I don't really have anything to take off paint with off vinyl, so I just left it on there. And afterwards, you just get a clean rag. You just go over it, and then you'll see the difference from the top to the bottom. I missed a spot right there, so I like to double check my work. Make sure that the client leaves happy. That's my priority. I know a lot of people try to do little simple jobs here and there, but if it's your car, I mean, you could get away with it, but personally, this is a job that I'm getting paid for, so I like for my customers to leave happy and for them to come back eventually. This customer that I do his personal vehicles, so now he let me work on his on the business trucks as well. So shout out to him. He's been a loyal customer for about 2-3 years already, I want to say. So now right here, I'm just gonna do the same process over at the bottom of the seat. Get my drill brush, find a place to put my my towel and my sponge. Like I said, those Ninja scrubbers, they come in really, really handy. You can use them for everything and anything. So yeah, right here I'm just going over it again. You know, and these drill brushes are nice too because you could use them on, on cloth seats as well. Like if you got some dirty seats, you could use it for that, and it helps out the job a lot. It makes the job a lot easier, to be honest. Then afterwards, you just hit it with the extractor. Right here, I had to go give something to my worker that he had asked me for. So yeah, sorry about the whole video. I'm still learning as I'm going. This is barely my second video that I have in there, I believe. Second or third video, something like that. I mean, I'm always open for, any ideas, recommendations. Mostly this YouTube channel will be, to show off my work, show off products, how I do the process personally. If there's any products out there you guys want me to try out, test out for you guys, let me know. So, detailing, it's a fun thing to do if you got the patience for it and the knowledge, because detailing does take a lot of patience, because you know it's not something that's gonna get done in 20-30 minutes. Like for example, this job, if I would have been doing it by myself, it would have been like a 4-6 hour job. Since I had somebody helping me, and they kind of have a little bit knowledge of it already. That he's been working with me a few months, so here he kind of knows what to do. I still have to walk him through certain process, so we cut the time to like almost half. I believe it still took us like about 3.5 hours to get this truck done. And this is just a single cab truck. It's not even a quad cab or anything like that. It's just a single cab truck. But yeah, so right here I'm just going over it again with the Ninja scrubber after I hit it with the drill brush. So yeah, so I've been doing this for years, so kind of makes it seem like a little bit faster than the usual, I guess. You get your rag. You see the rag's kind of dark already. Then I spray it down again. The only downside to this chemical, the multi-purpose from Nano Skin cleaning, I like to dilute it. If you don't dilute it, I've learned this in the past when I first started detailing, especially out here where we're at. We're in Bakersfield, California, so it gets really hot. It goes up to like 100, past the hundreds. So whenever you're gonna use this chemical, especially if you're doing it outdoors, I would recommend that as soon as you spray, you take it off, because it will damage the texture off the door panel, or the seat, or whatever it is that you're cleaning. I mostly use it for interior use. I don't use it for exterior use. I never tried it on exterior use, to be honest with you. I only use it for interior use wise, and I've always loved it how it works. So I just stuck with it. I tried different ones, but I just love how this one cleans, and it's powerful, to remove just about almost everything and anything. Right here, I'm just turning the seat, so I'm gonna be doing the back. Just spray it down again. Right here, what I'm doing, I'm spraying down the rail hose. So, those things are pretty bad. And since it's already off, it makes it a lot easier compared to even when they're installed, and the seats are you're still able to get to them. But it makes it a lot easier like this, because you're able to get more access to it. Like I said, this brush, you could use it on, cloth as well. That's what I'm doing right here. And back of the seat wasn't too bad. Spray it again. Gonna hit it with my Ninja scrubber. Whenever you're using the Ninja scrubber, don't be afraid to put some pressure into it. It's not gonna harm anything. Like I said, the main thing you always gotta watch out for with this chemical or any other chemical, I always recommend, you take it spot by spot, because like I said, certain chemicals will damage interior wires, and you do not want that, especially if you're working on a luxurious car, like a BMW, Audi, Mercedes. You definitely do not want to mess a car up like that. And that's one thing about detailing. A lot of people think they could just get into it, and it's a done deal, but it's really not. You got to have the knowledge, like I said, the patience, the time for it, to be able to do these type of jobs. And then when it comes down to working to higher end vehicles, like I say, you got to know what you're doing on those, because if you mess up a car with there's interior or exterior, you're gonna be in debt. Right here, what I did is I moved the seat, because I try to put it closer to my air compressor hose because it doesn't reach. So I will be moving the camera right now. And there we go. Excuse the mess. I just got a washer and dryer set, so all those rags right there that I got is just rags that I was collecting over time that I said I was gonna go wash at the laundromat, and I never had the time to do it, so I just ended up investing on a washer and dryer. So slowly and steady, those rags are going down, and it saves me some money on having to buy brand new rags every week. This one right here, I love this tool right here. This is called a Tornador. It's a really good tool. You could use it for just about almost everything. You could use it for when you're detailing a car, even if you're just doing a regular maintenance wash on it. It's a perfect tool, to remove any dirt, debris that the vehicle has in there. I will probably end up making a video one day with that one. I just got to get a car where maybe I'll even do it on my own work truck, just so you can see how powerful that little tool is. See how it removes, how it just blows all that dirt off those cloth seats, even on leather seats, the ones that have the little holes on it, like this one, for example, the vinyl. You just see the dust just blowing at you. So this one I just used to, to get in between those little cracks that there was already clean, just to remove any dirt that's in there. You could use a steamer as well. Preferably I like to use this one now. I hardly ever use the steamer now, to be honest. So yeah, so I just feel like with the Tornador it's a lot faster and a lot easier compared to a steamer. You gotta let it heat up, let it sit there, let it get warmed up. And don't get me wrong, the steamer does the job, but everything's just right there with the air compressor. It's just quick and easy. Right here, I spray down the rail hose again. You get a brush. I got that brush off Mac Shine. It works really good. I use it for just about almost everything. I use them for rims, to be able to get in the rims between small tight spaces, bolt patterns, stuff like that. And there we go. And then afterwards, I hit it with the Tornador. Man, like I said, this Tornador, it's a game changer. Since I started using it, I fell in love with it. And then afterwards, you get another rag, a rag that you don't care about. It's kind of dirty because remember, those rail hoses, they have oil in there. So usually if you clean them right, it'll come off before you even get to it with the rag. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'll get my second rag. Just got some overspray around there probably. So just giving it a quick little second wipe down. Right here, I'm moving the rail hose. On these ones, it's easy to move them just because they're manual. When you have an electric one, yeah, you ain't gonna move those unless you are connected to the actual sensors of the car. So like I said, it's a lot easier in some cars to leave them on. This one I took it off because the vehicle was in bad shape, so it makes it easier to get in between other spaces. Right here, I just kept on going back and forth because I wanted to make sure that I was able to record the whole thing, not just you guys just see me and not even see what I was doing. So right here, I'm getting on my phone so I could take a picture. That's exactly how it looks like. So that's the before right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Cleaning those rail hoses, all that in between there. And at the end of the video, you will be able to see the end results of it. So you can see the before and after. So then I spray down. When you're spraying that, you do not want to spray in those sensors because you could damage them, especially since they're open. Usually when they're, clothes in there, you should be fine because they're usually pretty composed, so it's kind of hard for water to get in there. And I get my brush, start cleaning them up again. You know, like I said, this little brush here works wonders. Get the, my Tornador again. I hate it. Like I said, I really love this tool. Makes the job easier, my life easier. It makes time go by faster. I just lift it up to try to get in between. Get all that dirt. Blow it out of there. Those tight spaces that I can't get in there. Get your rag again. Go over it. Make sure you clean those rail holes again. I just do this because sometimes when you let the chemical dry it up, it'll leave a ugly residue on it, even if it's clean. If it dries up and you got a little bit of dirt there that you left, it'll look ugly. It'll look like you never cleaned it. So I just like to go over it. There you go. Just clean everything wherever I could get my hand into. You get your other rag. You don't have to do this process. I just do this process because I just, I love to double check my work, Like I said, I do this for a living, so I want my customers to leave happy. Okay, so here you go, using the Tornador. I could have probably missed a spot, or maybe I'm just, to be safe, better to be safe than sorry. Not like the customer's going to be looking under that, but still, that's just me. And then hopefully, if everything goes good with this YouTube channel, eventually I would like to get into the point where, I start detailing people that can't afford, our services, hand them out, help out the community, detail their vehicles for free, but that's still a process and work. We gotta, let the job, business keep on growing, and hopefully YouTube channel grows, and I'm able to get to that position where I'm able to help out my people, help out the community, because there's a lot of people, out there that, that unfortunately, they can't afford the services. And I understand, because, there's certain prices that I can't even afford, to be honest with you. And I'm the ones charging, doing for them. But, it's time consuming. It's a lot of work going into it. Chemicals are not cheap. Everything's getting expensive by the day. And then right here, I'm just going over it again, So these little spots right here is what makes it easy to get in between when you remove the seat, compared to when it's actually on the vehicle. And there you go, just blowing everything up. See how the Tornador just blows everything. Just going over here, just doing it again. And you get your second rag, you go over it. I try to get, almost everywhere and everywhere in between that I could. Now there we go. It's a done deal right there. And this is the after picture right here that I was telling you about, how it looks after once, do the process on it. See the difference on it? Like I said, that Tornador, it helps out a lot. It really helps out a lot. I really love that too. See? Makes it easy to get in between all those little cracks, that you can't get in there with your hand, your fingers, Like I said, you could use a steamer as well and get in between all that, but I just found that easier to be with the Tornador. And if you don't have an air compressor, well, kind of makes it hard to use that tool. And this is a truck we're working at. This is a truck we're working at. It's a before and after. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. And I will try to keep on posting more videos. Thank you. You guys have a good one.